Alright folks, welcome to this exciting video where you once again join us in the Scottish... We're not in the countryside, we're in a Scottish town today, starting off. We're away to do another coastal adventure up here, and luckily today it's less windy than the last time. I'm joined by the channel DJ folks.
Still cold though.
Yeah, winter conditions on this Explorer. Today we're at Johnshaven, which is a little coastal village, and we're away to explore up the coast, up this way, and we're going to see what cool stuff we can find. But I just thought, yeah, I'll start the video at this majestic looking harbour. What an incredible scene right here. Anyway folks, on with this adventure. It's always freezing cold at the start of the adventure till you get used to the wintry temperatures. Look at the old character of some of these buildings right here. It's crazy. Look at that, somebody's written in 1977 in the rock down there. Oh, is this storms or something? Somebody's marked the height. I don't know. Maybe it is just people graffitiing, eh? 1977 folks. This must be where they obviously launched the boats up and down it. Oh aye. Yeah, look at the erosion. It's crazy.
Yeah, these ones are alright.
Yeah. Just shows you the height of the sea, it's savage.
So it must come up to here quite frequently.
Yeah. I wouldn't fancy parking my car too near the edge often. Anyway folks, here we go, on the adventure. Wow, everything's new to me here folks. I've never ever explored this area in Scotland. Looks like you could get totally cut off there if the sea came in. Is this people's gardens along there? Oh, it looks like there's a road. See where the street lights are? Just how do we get down there, eh? Wow. We'll have to actually walk though around the road, because there's no way of getting down here. Anyway folks, I'll update you once we're further along the coast. Everything just looks so amazing here, I just can't believe it. And look, the sun's trying to shine down through the clouds right there. Look at this folks, we've come a little bit further along the coast here, and check this little house. It's got the old pan tiles, which actually originally came from Holland. Fife's famous for that, when they used to ship the coal out to like Holland and that, they couldn't sail the boats back here unladen, so they used to fill them with pan tiles so the boats were laden. So in this part of the country, well, Fife, and then like, this is the first time I've seen it at Johnshaven, but that's often where those pan tiles came from Holland. And check the character of the building, look how worn the stones actually are, eh? Yeah, it's crazy. What a cool little building folks. And then check the sea out over here. Look at that, there's an electrical box just wide open. Maybe a big wave's opened that up. What a place folks. Look at this folks. This is crazy. Check the size of this stockless anchor from the Aberdeen coaster Helmsdale, which after her career of 24 years on the coast ran aground at Skardiness on the 17th of November 1980. That's crazy. Skardiness is the lighthouse next to Montrose, and this ship ran aground there. Well, the ship that this anchor was for. Wow. So basically folks, they used a Wessex helicopter to rescue the folk off this boat. It was a crazy event. You can see the original casting marks there. Just shows the history with one little thing like an anchor, eh? That's crazy. I didn't even know, 1980 is no long ago. I didn't even know a ship had ran aground at Skardiness there. Look at this, folks. This is where we actually are in accordance with the map of Scotland. We're on halfway up that little top slopey bit. It's not very good for the reflection of the camera there, but we can kind of see it. And there's like a map and stuff on here. It's basically telling us that like the Netherlands is 395 miles right across there, folks. We're looking at the Netherlands. Shout out all the viewers from Holland.
Denmark.
Denmark's 395 mile that way. So it's the same distance to Denmark from this point as it is to the Netherlands, folks.
And Norway is the same distance in Yarmouth.
Oh, aye.
Which is
crazy, folks.
Still in the UK.
Look at this, folks. We've come further down the coast and you can see the remains of what must be an old stone bridge. This is the old railway. When we were at Den of Fenella in last week's video, like this is the same railway we were walking on that viaduct. And look at this. This is the old railway. It's got old metal railings and stuff at that side. And then look at this side. Like the ivy's just all over the metal railings. It's crazy. The ivy's just taken over this whole area. You can just imagine the old trains hurtling along. What a view out the window you must have gotten. Oh well, look at this, folks. It's another one of these railway poles, but check this bridge. It's got so much character. It's like a small version of some of those other bridges up the railway. Yeah. Look at that, folks. That's the sort of history just hidden in the countryside that we love to find. Yeah, I could walk right through it. It looks like it's got a lot of sewage in it, that burn. Are we going to jump over to that hoosh looking thing there? Look at this, folks. There's this mystical abandoned looking building here next to the coast. We're not sure. It must have been some old railway kind of siding building. I'll have a walk around it and see. There must be steps here. Folks, this is crazy. Overgrown adventures right here. But look at that. The door's been welded shut right there many years ago. It must have been a little railway kind of caretaker's building or something. And just check the way the ivy's taken over it. It's insane, folks. This is, oh, it's right on top of the old railway, right enough. So it must have been after the railway, this building, folks. So, yeah, it's an unusual building. It's crazy the way the ivy takes over. It's maybe a substation, kind of like an old electrical substation or a watershed or something. Crazy, folks. This is like a house of ivy. And it's not very easy to walk around with those bushes. Wow. From a distance it looks like a little house, but it doesn't have windows and that, so it must be an industrial building. Anyway, we're about to continue on up the coast here, folks, and see what we find. It's cool to imagine the old trains going along here, and there could be some cool railway history up here. Look at this, folks. It's an old, I think it was a rake or something, or an old piece of farm equipment. Crazy little bit of agricultural history right there. I think there's an old like car door and van door. Spooky little abandoned building right there, folks. Well, it's probably just used for livestock, I think, 'cause there's like little fences and stuff. Maybe somebody keeps their horse here in the summer. Anyway, look at this wild coastline here, folks. We're just exploring. We don't know what we're going to find. I can see there's actually another village up there in the distance. Look at this, folks. At the end of this row of houses here, this house here looks totally abandoned. But from the front door and everything, it looks like somebody might actually be staying in it. Look, it's got this asbestos roof and like ivy on the roof. It's just some wild environment right here. But it looked like somebody lived there because the way that sign at him was on the door. It's pretty crazy, folks. The character of a place like that is so eerie. Look at this, folks. We've now walked so far up this coast here that we've now come to the coastal town of Gourdon on the east coast of Scotland here. And we're literally just continuing this coastal walk to see if we can find any incredible abandoned history. And yeah, there's an old house over here, but I don't know if we'll be able to see it. It's got a Harris fence right around it, and it looks like it's in a sorry state. Sometimes we abandon places like that closer to towns too, they do more safety precautions, because the more folk will be walking about them. But look at this, folks. This is like the Gourdon Harbour right here, and it's like an incredible Scottish scene. Some of these harbour walls are absolutely massive. They've got a red light flashing out the end of there. See, I think there's maybe somebody's house just right next to it, eh? Yeah. Cool little abandoned house though, folks. That's got so much character. It's in a prime location. Yeah. Probably a couple of years ago you could have had a look in there. But I think literally it's in somebody's garden. Like pretty much the house next door to it. Check this view out. Imagine you lived there. You'd be looking out over this incredible seascape, folks. Look at this, folks. It's got an old ladder over the edge here. Must have been for the local people to go down here. Because I'm not sure if I don't think they would have tied the boats here at all. But you do not know. They may have done. Maybe if there was no room in the harbour or whatever, they would have to come out here. But then it could just be access for like if you were on foot. This massive old harbour kind of wall bit here is just such a crazy bit of engineering on its own. The stonework's withstood so many waves over the years, like, but the wall's so thick, it's like 3 foot thick or more at the bottom. Check this out, folks, the little boat here. This is a proper fishing community here, and this land just looks like a postcard right here. It's incredible. Look at this, the height of this wall here, folks. This is the main road that comes down here, and it shows you the amount of work they used to do in these little harbour towns when they were building the industry around the fishing. And look at the character of this old harbour bar here. Look at the erosion on that, eh? The character of a place like this, folks, is so cool. It's got a real coastal character. Yeah. Look at the artwork on the end of this, folks. It's got the old fishing boat on the end of the harbour bar. And I can smell the food, and it's smelling pretty good, folks. I'm not gonna lie to you. Check these boats out. What a cool place. There's a wartime museum up here that says, oh sorry about that, I didn't read it properly, folks. I was vlogging for you. I was too busy looking at the maritime items around here that I didn't read it. Look at this, folks, on the wall behind this war memorial in Gourdon here. The old emblem on the wall there says 1896. So that like shows the ancient fishing heritage around here. And we'll take a walk round. See, this is a separate kind of little bit of the harbour here. Yeah, what a cool spot. Look at all these creel nets. Some of the buildings around here have got incredible erosion on the stones from the crazy weather. Gourdon, the boat's called here. Yeah, what a wild bit of land around here. The harbour's just built onto the bedrock which crops up. And look at this old vintage boat around here. Incredible scenes. at this, folks, the character of some of these. That's the Maggie Law Maritime Museum. And look at the character of the wee building. Every building here has got so much character. It's like a different world in some of these little coastal towns. Look at this, folks, an ancient abandoned boat, and look at the character of it. This is so cool. I might get a picture of it from this angle, like. That's so cool there, look at that. It's got wee round portal windows. It must have like a little room in there. Maybe the boy could get a cap when he was out for a hurl about doing some fishing. He could probably get his head down, or maybe there was a few in the crew and they had a wee area that they could just chill in down there. The little driver's cabin isn't the biggest, but an older boat like this, it's just mostly made of wood, which is cool. Check the old propeller and the rudder. Wow. We'll have some old technology on this channel, folks. I don't often see old boats and stuff like that, so that's something totally different, and it's so interesting. Wow, imagine living in those houses, eh? Looking out, like imagine you lived in the bottom floor of the houses. Your window would be like right over on the edge of the water when the tide's in. Wow. This is incredible scenes, folks. Look at this, folks. Look at the character of this old abandoned building which is at the side of the coast. It's crazy sometimes, like the way the nature just takes over. Wow, it's just literally at the end of the street. But a cool thing, the detail in the gutter, the cast iron bits. It looks like, folks, this is the old railway once again, which is running alongside us, which has come out the other side of Gourdon. I think this used to be some sort of little railway siding here, just so that the sea didn't erode away at the rails. Now they've made it into like a coastal path. Right, folks, we're now approaching the next coastal village or town, which is Inverbervie, and there's a cool World War II military position along here that we're going to go and have a look at. I've not been here for years, so it's so cool to come back and re-document it, folks. And another cool thing, we're going to head round a bit further after that, because it looks like there's some crazy, like massive cave entrance, and it's like you never know what you're going to find on these adventures, folks. This is the old train line we're still walking on, and there must have been like an old road along the side of it where that wall is, but the whole land here has been carved and shaped for the original railway line. Look at this, folks. There's like a castle on the hill here at the edge of Inverbervie, and it's got this incredible little waterfall here, which is worth seeing, I thought. I'll have a look through the bottom and then we'll have a look up there. Check this out, look at the character of the old arch in the stone up there with the waterfall coming through it. It's amazing what you find, folks. Wow. What a scene, folks. A majestic little waterfall there. We'll have a look up at the top of it. It's maybe a private kind of road up to this house. I'm thinking this is the old Inverbervie station down here where this house is. And this must have been like a track at one time which came down towards that station. Because it looks like it's all built up with stones there underneath the ivy. Oh, this is just like somebody's gate up here. Wow. We'll have a quick look though, folks. We'll come with the greatest respects to the house owner. I'm just looking at this ancient castle gate, which looks super spooky. Look at the waterfall and the way this place is positioned here on the land. It's almost like Dracula's castle. Yeah, it says here private garden. Wow, look at it though. What a spooky, abandoned looking building that is. That must be their garden through there. Anyway folks, I just thought I would document this because look at it, it's like something from a horror film. Imagine approaching this place on a foggy night. Back in the day they would have had the lantern walking up. And it's such a cool feature having that waterfall underneath their driveway. It's like a bridge with the castellated stones, is that what you would call it? Like battlements. The waterfall's just totally eroded those stones over the years. Anyway folks, on with this adventure. Look at this folks, this is Inverbervie beach kind of bit here. It's like a pebble beach. But just check out this old historical winch here, which would have been used to winch their boats up after they'd been out fishing. Such a cool bit of history. Just left from a time gone by. It looks like, look, they could rotate the... Oh no, I don't know what that was. I thought they could maybe rotate that gear away from there to disengage it. Yeah, there was probably more winches. There's the bit for sliding the boat down in. Crazy folks. What a bit of land here. It's stunning. And that castle's on the hill behind us overlooking this whole village. Look at this incredible scene here folks. The noise of the waves crashing on the pebbles here at Inverbervie is just crazy. Like here's the first bit of World War II history we've seen. Incredible. One of these tank traps, like an anti-invasion bollard. Look at them all here. It shows that, look, they're right underneath the pebbles. Yeah. They were probably all over this area. Oh, yeah. And look at them folks. Some of them now, it's just the tips of them sticking out of the rocks, out of the pebbles. No way, what is this folks? An ancient piece of history right here we've just discovered. This is a live find on the video, an old ice house. It's called The Old Ice House. Wow. The salmon netting station was in operation here from early times until its closure in 1981. Wow. So they must have done that here, but an ice house would have been used for storing the ice, so that for packaging it.
It was the ice house where ice was stored in the summer to keep the catch fresh.
Crazy folks. And I don't know what's up on top of there. I'm waiting to look up there and see. Incredible abandoned history folks. Right here on the channel once again. We did not even know that we were about to see out an ice house. It just shows you what can crop up on an adventure. I'm just coming up here to see if there's any like remains of the history, and look at this. This must have been where they put the ice into the ice house. Wow. What a cool spot folks. The view out over the sea is amazing, but look, they've had bits, 2 square holes. And that's been where they filled the ice up. And then they've had doors down there, probably stairs into it, which has all been bricked up nowadays. Wow. And the World War II history just is dotted all around here too. I think this is like a campsite here. Like caravan site or something like that. So this little cement bridge that we have to go over, I believe it was built at the same time as the military pillbox bunker that we're about to go and see, and I think that was for people accessing it back in the day. Not only when they were building it, but also the people who were stationed there, and if they had to get support into the area quickly, bridges like that were put in to assist that. Other troops and stuff could get called in probably if they realised somebody was trying to come onto land here. It would have been battle stations. Like there's some ducks just chilling out here on this river. The water's pure brown today. There's maybe some crazy storm going on up a glen somewhere. I can't believe how brown that is. It's been insane folks, because the sea's so rough today but there's hardly any wind. Whereas last week the sea was smooth, but it was like one of the windiest days that we'd ever been out. Yeah, there's a double viaduct up there. The main road and then the old main road. And the old main road has actually got the old jail in it apparently. Aye. The old jail cells were in the foot of the old bridge. Maybe we should look at that after we've been over to this bunker. Always adventures, folks. Check this bridge out though, folks. This is a bit of history on its own. Probably built in the 30s or the 40s. Oh look! This explains about this bridge. Erected by the Town Council of the Royal Borough of Inverbervie with the approval of the Bourne Estates for the purpose of relieving unemployment in the year 1934 and to replace stepping stones further upstream, but without prejudice to the legal rights of either of the parties. Wild. Crazy. So there you go, folks. That's the history of this bridge. Oh aye, there's a heron chilling up there in the river, folks. The big grey bird that you get flying about around here. Crazy little gate. Look at this, folks, this crazy rock face here. It's crazy the way these pebbles are just in layers. It's like you can see how the ground was all compressed and formed billions of years ago potentially. And look, there's like layers of stone there with no pebbles in them. It's like almost the sea's been over it and then it's no been and then it has, or something like that. It's hard to even know. Apparently these rocks that you get with the pebbles throughout them come from deep within the Earth's crust. It's like a volcanic fissure in the ground. Yeah. It's like a solid stone seam right there. Right now.
It's like this.
And then look at this, the way all these pebbles are through the other type of rock. It's insane. It's like it's been a riverbed or something one time, or the seabed. Look at this, folks. Here's the World War II pillbox. Oh, it's like there's been something in there, eh? Maybe military related as well. I'm gonna have a wee look at this. It looks like this little pillar here has got something written on it, folks. We're all about the history here. What does that say in it? Can we read that? Fishing or something it says. Something fishing. Looks like it says fishing on here. So I don't know, they're maybe not related to the military side of things, but more the fishing side of the heritage around this neck of the woods. But you never know, because a lot of this could have been buried, history could have been buried here. Kind of when bits of the ground collapse with the coastal erosion. But maybe at one time they would have been tying boats here and stuff. Anyway, folks, onto the bunker. Defensive pillbox. Once again, we see it's covered with earth and stuff to defend it from the air, so it wasn't seen so well if planes and that was flying over. And then we can see the row of tank traps leading off down to the rocks. So that's to stop, like, kind of if any tanks and stuff are coming onto the land, they stop any of them getting round easily. I can't even speak, folks. Look at this, folks. Let's go in. Once again, we can see the wooden grain on the cement like we've seen on previous bunkers. This one's full of pebbles, but also because of its close location to the town, it's full of graffiti, which we didn't see in those other bunkers last week. But look at the size of these openings here. It must have been big machine guns, or like bigger machine guns. And then once again, it's got this internal wall, which wasn't only for strength, but also to stop the blasts coming in the door if there had been like an explosion. And you can see around the outside, it's got those big windows, but then see the end one, it's a smaller one and it's higher up. That'll be to do with like the lie of the land. Look at that, folks, there's a fishing buoy in there, like broken glass on the edge of that. And then, like, it must have been big machine guns here, I think. But see the thickness of the walls? It's incredible. The walls are like 3.5 foot thick or something, which you didn't see in a lot of bunkers. But I think this is such a main strategic bunker that it was a lot stronger than most of them.
Seems a lot bigger.
Yeah. It's like twice the size of that one that we saw last week, or those two that we saw. But see, like, I think it's just had bigger guns. See, look, there's been something maybe mounted in the middle there. It's hard to even see that. It could have been where something pivoted. Or it could just be like a mark from a pebble. So cool. And then I think at one time they probably had a little door here somewhere. So long ago though that it's like fallen off. I'll get like a picture or something in here of this. This is crazy, folks. I just got a couple of photos in here, but it's good to see the condition of these bunkers. I think because they're so unbreakable, that's the reason that obviously no more of this can really be vandalised apart from the spray paint. And anything that's breakable in those things gets broken early on. Like the door and stuff's long gone. And then check this out, folks. See, it's built right onto the edge of the proper like bedrock here. And it's got like this little stairs or stones at the back of it. I'm not sure where they would have originally like accessed it from. Maybe just literally around the way we came. And then this has got a large amount of earth on top of it to camouflage it. And it's super cool to see these old tank traps leading out there as well. Wow, what a place, folks. The atmosphere and the character of these old World War II places are amazing. Just imagine it back in the days of the war, Ken. These were like important places for the defence of the country in the war. But we are just lucky that most of them didn't see action. Look at that, folks, for an abandoned scene right there. I just came back around this side just to get a couple of photographs. So it's pretty cool to like take pictures and that when I visit these places, and then when I see them in years to come, you can see how much like more decayed and more gone they become. Sometimes like the rain and the storms like erodes away at the cement. The land behind it can often push down and break them as well. Check this out, the river's flowing so fast, it's just constantly eroding away at those pebbles. And then in the storms, the pebbles get washed back in, like when the tide comes in. Look at the size of this bunker. This has been a big one here, like. Right, folks, we're now going to continue around to these caves, which is at the far side of this coastline here. But also, we might see some other abandoned history on the way there, because you never know like what you're going to find. It's crazy what's always just around the corner. And this little bunker here is so cool. Look at this, folks, just round the corner from where I was a minute ago, there's this strange rock thing here, and then look, there's an old stone pillar. So there must have been something here on the coast at one time. Maybe before it got eroded away. But it actually looks like there has been something in that location. It's always interesting just to find little nuggets like that hidden within the landscape itself. The landscape's so different up here now to what it was when we were down further down the coast at like Johnshaven and that. Every time you go around past one of these villages, it's just like a different land. Look at this, folks. This is actually built here on the edge of the cliff. And it must have been some little fishery station, because there's one of those big winches over there. Look at this, folks. Yeah, this has been proper constructed. Just imagine what must have gone on back in the old days of history. They've used the natural shape of the stone here and then built their wall onto it. And then they've had a wall right around there. Yeah. This has been where the door is, and look, there's even, it's maybe been a lot lower. Can that'll be where they locked it, or the door frame might have been in there. And then this must have been a little outside corner here. This is the outside of the wall. It just shows the history that's hidden in there. It has been a little shed. And then look at this over here. It's another one of these winches. Look at this, folks. Another cool bit of old abandoned history right here. It's similar to the one we saw at one of those villages previously in this video. They've all got that bit you can kind of fold around or whatever it is. Massive bit of cast iron work. Just think, folks, that winch probably used to be used every day of the week, and then one day it was just left and abandoned, and the person must have just stopped fishing. This is crazy, folks. The land here is just weird. The layout of the land and stuff is just crazy. The way the sea is hurtling through the middle of all this, and like from a distance we could see that there was caves around here. So yeah, we've come for a look. Look at the way this is all worn and stuff. It's incredible. When there's no wind, it's so good for making videos as well, folks. I can just keep it rolling without the worry of the wind noise. Here, is that a cave down there? What, is this a building? No way, folks, look at this. A building right here on the channel, on this bit of ground. Looks like it's been right around there. Look at this. Yeah, I wonder if this has been like either a fishery building or a wee house. Or I wonder if it was something that was used maybe in the war. There's so much history and stuff from different times, folks. It's crazy. With a thing like that, we'll never know it's true history. Not unless some local person kens about it and gets in the comments. Here, it looks like there's a cave under there. See it? Wow, the land here is just weird, eh? Look, there's a cave in there for sure.
That is just mental.
Yeah, imagine having a building here.
Right there, eh?
The way these waves are breaking on the rocks too, it's just incredible. So there's definitely been a building here for sure, folks. There's maybe even been like a wooden building or something. Oh, there must have been an animal or something sitting here eating its tea. But an interesting thing, if this has been a little house, they must have had a shed behind it, because you can see the wall. And the wall's literally like on the edge of this cliff here. But it might have been a little like settlement, and that could have been where they had their boats, and this was where they had their little family home. Look at the line in the rock, like a circle. That's crazy. Whoa! Shit, look, the waves is coming right. Oh, look at the size of this wave coming in here. Here, I was wanting to have a look at this cave, but we better be careful. See how far in these waves come first. Look out. I knew they were biggies. See, we're just a bit late, I think, for seeing in that cave. See, it's lucky we did not go for a look at the cave 1 second earlier, folks. That's how you have to constantly read the sea, or you can end up with wet feet. See, right now it looks like there's a cave, and there is. Here, I'm going to run. Wow, look at this, folks. Documenting this cave. Oh, it goes in miles. The cave goes in far. Look at that, folks. But because the sea's the way it is, I'm running. Oh, it's okay. Here, it goes in miles though. Well, quite far. Look at that, folks. The foaming that's been all over my boots. Yeah. I think the tide has just recently been quite far out too. Crazy folks, another cave documented. It looks like there's massive caves at the other side of here though. Check this out folks, it's another one of these little coves, but I think, look at the cave at this one. Wow. Look at the height of that, but check the size of the cave. I think there's a bigger cave around here that we could see from back there. Look at that, I wonder how far in it goes. It's crazy with the water and stuff running off. Yeah, even then though, it's a bit of a climb down like.
Where do you go down that way?
You could probably get down here.
Aye.
I know. I was just looking though, I was reading the rocks. Look at the size of these waves. Wild folks. Wild North Sea. We're going to have a look just to see if there's a bigger cave, eh? And then look at this folks, this is like another incredible void in the ground right here. Wow, oh my god. I'm being super careful because this land here could just go away. That's like 100 foot up. Check it out, there is like another cave in there. Look how wild the land is down there. Wow. Look at this folks. We've come down the bit of land between these two massive caves. Oh yeah, that must have been what we were seeing from miles away. Look, there's the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard boat out there folks. Look at the cave. Wow. That looks like it goes quite far in as well. So much of that has fallen away. You can see how the fence at one time's been there. So it just shows you that any of that could just fall down. Even this bit behind us I'm a bit wary of. To see the way this cliff is there. Yeah. That's what we are literally standing on. Look at the way the seams is through the ground too. It looks like the sea goes right up there though, so it's a dangerous spot. But also, look, there's a cave like at the back corner. I think there's a cave at that next bit. The little Coast Guard boat out there is fairly motoring folks. Looks like it's heading up north. I'm going further up this hill to walk around to the next cave because I don't trust the land here. Look at this folks, this is a bit we thought it was like a cave. See, sometimes bits like this can be formed because it's like the sea washes underneath it, and then years later the weight of the ground just drops in and it often leaves bits like this. But yeah, that's as far probably up the coast as we're going to go. But before we end this incredible adventure here on the east coast, we're about to head back to Inverbervie and we're going to look at these cool old viaducts. So yeah, I'll update you once we're further back along there. This hill here looks crazy. It's just like a stone cliff face. It's incredible to think how a hill that size is formed right there. There's actually a couple of old aerials on it, and I think in the war there was like listening stations and stuff up and around that area. And look at that, the view back down at where we started. Or we started even further back down there, eh? Crazy. Look at this folks, we're back along as far as this old bridge. Built in the 1930s. And now we're going to go this way and document the ancient viaducts. There's a dual viaduct. One of them is the modern road, which is the most recent road, and then the old one is obviously the old abandoned road of Inverbervie. And they've both got their own character. And we've never seen it before on the channel, so it'll be a cool adventure. Look at this folks, I'm not sure what this building here is, NTS it says on it, but the whole yard of the property is covered with those, surrounded by those sandbags. So it must be on a proper floodplain. This is the first viaduct we're just about approaching now. Yeah. Yeah. Boy-based jet ski there, folks. Look at this, folks. We don't know if this is like a private yard here or something, but we're hoping to get a path to have a proper look at these viaducts. Look at it towering over the land here. It's such a crazy structure. Yeah, look, we'll go around this way in here. Look, it looks like there's a path. Look at the size of these towers. To the landowner here, we're just literally come with the greatest respects. We're here to document this piece of history. Wow, look at the size of this. This is absolutely huge. It's like cement. It looks like it's been poured against wooden panelling, like what we see with the military bunkers that we go to. Wow. I can't even believe the size of this. And then the crazy thing about it, there's another one right over here. There's an even older one, which is the original main road. Oi! Folks, is that lights or something? There's some sort of wiring up there. Oh, it's maybe for street lights. Strange acoustics under this bridge, folks. Look at this, where the two old viaducts meet. I need to get a picture for here. Look at this. Wow. Looks like somebody's been off-roading around here. Oh, look, the sandbags to prevent the river from rising up. This must still be like the flood. Whoa, just about slipped. This must still be the floodplain. I'm keeping the camera aimed up. Wow. It's absolutely crazy the size of these bridges. Look at this. Somebody's been off-roading here. Wow. And then this old bridge here used to have the jail cells in it, apparently, for the Inverbervie, county of Inverbervie, or whatever you would call it. So let's go and have another look. Well, let's go and have a look, folks. Wow, this is huge. I'm just taking it all in. It's so big. It's crazy when you come to a place like this, folks. It's like you never know what is round the corner. And like, we knew about these viaducts, but we just never actually considered about it on this walk. Check out the old window up there with the iron bars. You can still get over the top of there, but it just obviously goes along to the wall of the new viaduct. Is there something up there like a door? Let's go, folks. Real adventures on this channel. We're just keeping it rolling. It's a coastal explorer, and today the coastal town of Inverbervie, among others. Check it out, I'm not making it separate videos. These crazy viaducts are just part of a magical adventure. And we're going up here, hey, look at this, which is like windows or something on the side, which must have been the windows of the jail. Crazy, folks. Look at this, buses and stuff going over the viaduct. That's the main coastal tourist route up that way. Wow. See, the council must still have keys for this. Look, there's been windows and stuff here too, with metal bars in them. So this is the old jail of Inverbervie, folks. I'm gassed after walking up that hill. Just look at the landscape with these bridges. We'll have to be careful up this slope, but I'm wanting to see a closer look at this window. Look at the size of these supporting brackets. Look at this, folks. We're right on the edge of this, so be super careful because it's deadly. It looks like this has almost been like a door here as well, but look, there's one remaining window. If we had a drone, we could have had a look in. Or if we had a giant camera on a stick. But I don't think it's worth the risk. Oh, there's a chain here. There's a chain down here, folks, look at that. I don't think it's original though to the jail. I think it's more been thrown over there from the main road, the old main road. Look at this folks, I'm not going any closer, but I just wanted to see the iron bar window right there. But this is a proper drop here, and we're liking to keep it safe on this channel folks. Exploring the history as safe as we can. We check this door, this must be the original door, and maybe there's actually an older door behind that. And then you can see the land must have looked totally different here back then. Because that's been a window or even a door maybe. But yeah, we're going to go and check out the other side of this incredible ancient viaduct. This is the old main road here. This is as far down as you can come now, but wow. It's like some mad yard. Is there no windows on this side? Oh, it would be under this section here, eh? It looks totally different at this side. So it just shows you folks, the jail's been at the other side. What are you seeing? I'll go a bit further and have a look. Oh, aye, look, there's something there. Right folks, we're going down there for a look right now. That's what we're all about on this channel folks, it's just adventures that we didn't plan. Spontaneous is the word I use a lot. Spontaneous adventures, and the history you find is just incredible. Like, to the owners of this yard and stuff, we come with the greatest respects. We're literally just documenting the history right here, and then we'll be on our way. Look, there's a stick here, that would be helpful for getting down the hill, wouldn't it? Look at this folks, we've now got a walking stick. Wow, there's spiky as anything bushes here. But this is what we hate to sometimes deal with, to have the best adventures folks. And then look at the way this is built, just think of the ancient history we're witnessing here. Look at this folks, spiky bushes. Oh my goodness, wait a minute, look at this, I'm caught in this bush. It's like natural barbed wire. Like, these drains must run off into that burn. We're just making our way through, look at this folks. Oh look, there's something there. But also, this is the old door or whatever. Look at that folks, it's been cemented up, but like you can see where the yeah, the bars have been. This one's probably the same, but it does show you how at one time, that's how it was, like, at one time folks, that shows you that there was people like held in there like a jail. Because look, the doors go right along. Look at this folks, it's got, somebody's been round like spraying on it. It's had like a round design there, like a round pattern. Here it looks like there's more of the same at the other side. There's more of these windows at the other side of the road there. At the far side. Crazy folks. Even look at this cast iron repairs. See from the road up, like when we looked over the edge from the road up there, it looked like we could get in here. But obviously they've blocked it up. I wonder what's in there. It's obviously old cells and stuff like that, but it would be so interesting to see. And if anybody's got a key for it in the council or something, get in touch with us here at the channel. We would love to have a look in a place like that. Ancient abandoned jail. Like, who would have even known that we were going to see an ancient abandoned jail in this video? It's crazy. What a cool place, folks. I think so, like. I think it'll be Angus Council. No, what is it? Aberdeenshire Council that has this, like, all the keys or whatever for this, or all the deeds. Yeah, it's totally bulging out. Wow. Ancient jail. I wonder what sort of people were in here at times. Maybe they could look out at one time up the valley before all this yard and stuff was here. And they probably were contemplating their actions. But I'm not sure how long they were left in those jail cells, if it was like just until they went to court, or like if that's how it even worked back in those days. This is like a different type of rock to the bridge here, I think. This is like some red granite or something right here. Insane. So this is where the old cars would have come hurtling over. I'm not sure what year that bridge was built, because we've not seen a plaque. We came the wrong direction to find the plaque, folks. It's crazy to think underneath our feet are jail cells. Underneath our feet were hardened criminals of this area. Yeah. Since the original road, it's just layers upon layers of tar. And then look at these old railings, eh? They've got a character of their own. Look, there's something written on them. What does that say? Oh look, 1799. There you go, folks. So this jail bridge was built in 1799. That gives you an idea of the time and the nature of the place back then at that time. And obviously that other bridge wasn't there at that time. Wow. Part of the central pier of the two-arch bridge built in 1696 can be directly below the arch of the bridge, which dates to 1799. The latter was replaced in 1935 by the present Jubilee Bridge. That's crazy, folks. So this is still part of the 1696 bridge. Yeah, oh aye, there's an old bridge below us up on the actual ground. We'll have a look at that. Look at this, folks. Wow. Spooky. And then look, they've got these urns on it. Yeah, so we'll go and have a look in a minute at that 1696 bridge. Once we've seen down here, seen what's at this side of the bridge, folks. There's more of a breeze coming off the land here. Earlier when we were at the coast side there wasn't so much. What's over here? Wow, look at the wild landscape there. That is crazy. It actually looks like it's easier to cross over at this side. And we'll take a look down the side here, folks. So look at this, folks. Look at the original detail here of this bridge. This also, look at that, there's a whole bit under there. There's a whole little cave underneath the old road. See, that must have been added or widened at a later date.
Yeah, that's been added.
Yeah. And then there's another one of these metal jail doors at this side. They must have filled in the windows and stuff to stop people even looking in, never mind anything else. It's maybe because of the horrible conditions that the prisoners were kept in back in those days. Yeah, you can see the massive door. What does it say on here? Oh look, survey control point. Please do not disturb. Property and Land Surveys, Highland. So that must be who's in charge of it nowadays. So I wonder if they've got something in there like blue cheese or something that they're doing tests on. Or they might just mean that they're looking after this to keep it in a good condition, I'm not sure. But you can see there's windows in the pillars as well as here. And like, it must have been crazy to be in a jail cell in the middle of like a bridge tower. You would ken there's no way out. Solid stone with a massive drop outside the window. It would have just been so cool to look in through the railings though. Just see what we're dealing with. Crazy history, folks, right here on the channel once again. And often the adventure to come and find places, and when you're exploring, that just totally makes it.
Yes.
What?
There's no evidence of bars being used.
Oh, aye. No evidence of bars at these windows, did you just say? But there's certainly been a door into it, so there must have been something going on. Oh, but maybe the bars were at the other side or something like this.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure. They've obviously been building up this bit with the cement to stabilise the ground. And then the original bridge must have gone in, and they've widened it to make it safer. And then eventually they've abandoned it altogether and made the new viaduct, which will be the current viaduct probably for another good few years. Some of the landscape that these places we visit are set in, it's just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing history, folks. So when I woke up this morning, folks, I never knew I'd be seeing such a cool abandoned historical wonder today. It's crazy. All this stuff's just in the land and all around us. Sometimes you don't even notice it. But yeah, it's just amazing. There's always so much to visit and see all around the place. It's mind-blowing history. I'll take a picture over here. They must be original gutters, eh? Along the side. It looks like the sides are kind of bowing out a bit, leaning out. See, the whole side there's been stoned, like stoned off, is that a word? They've built stones around it. Even down there, there's like little walls and stuff to direct the water. Anyway, we'll go underneath and we'll take a look at the bridge from 1696, folks. I think it's just like a bit of a stone pillar, but it'll still be cool to have a look at. Just think how long ago that was. There would have been herd and droven sheep and stuff over it back in the day. Probably with their stick and their dog. And that was all they had. Cars would have been unseen back then. Unheard of. Would be as well going back down this way that we came up. I can't believe that that jail is in that bridge and stuff, and like the history of that is so cool, so interesting. And it would be so cool to see inside those cells. It's probably some mad like medieval looking like conditions in there. Here we go, folks, we're going into the trees now. Check the fungus out on the scene. Look at that. This tree's probably rotten. It's got fungus throughout it. Look at this, folks, there's the jail window up there, which would be so cool to see in. Maybe I'll have to get a long stick for my camera and come back here one day and get the camera in front of the window with a torch on it. Yeah. Wow. This is super interesting, folks. This old bridge. We can see what they used to make bridge foundations out of in the 1600s. Just think how long ago that is. This is incredible, folks. Like, nobody would be able to escape out of there, even if they cut the bars, because it would be a straight drop onto these rocks. Wow. Oh, I look at the stonework. Just think, folks, 1696, and I believe this is like original stonework down here. But it looks to me like all that other stone which is left there would have been like inside the original structure. Because look, that would have been how the original stones looked back in 1696. Wow, look at this here actually, there's some unusual holes and stuff in the stone. And look, they've been linked together with like a piece of metal. Wow, you can often get an idea of how the bridge may have looked in its prime, just from small details like that. But it looks like that pillar has been massive. And this end of it here, where it gets washed by the water, that's been like obviously the worst eroded side of it. Wow, real history folks, all the way from today we've seen like World War II history, all the way to modern day bridges, and then all the way back as far as 1696 when they were building a bridge like this. Just check it out. Here it looks like there's a hole under it. Look at that folks, there's a hole underneath this bridge. I'll tilt the camera and we'll get right under there for a look. Look at that folks, where does that go? The camera gets the view where my eyeball can't see. Yeah, I think what they did with those sandbag looking things is filled them with cement, and then once the sandbag like wears away, you're left with like that cement wall. Because look at that, that must have been something to do with the original bridge foundation over there as well. And then look at this, this is the other old bridge we were on a minute ago. There's water dripping right through it. And then this massive structure right here too. Crazy. I wonder what the place looked like as well back in the days when they were locking people up in a bridge like that. The Bobby probably had his proper old bonnet back then. Wow, it's crazy. I just noticed the way they've cut the original bedrock away there when they've made the bridge into the side of it. It's probably so it's got a strong foundation on the bedrock, because it's different at both sides. The land down here is so incredible. Sometimes these little gorges that kind of run inland from the sea are just incredible. The history that's hidden within them often is just mind-blowing. Yeah, this structure is just so crazy. It looks like on top of the cement up there, there's a proper like little platform bed. The pigeons up there are just loving it. Yeah. Oh, they've had sandbags with cement in them, and then they've put rebar down through them. And then once it's all hardened, it's all just been a solid wall, which is a good idea. Yeah, check it out folks, I can't believe like the size of it, and you can see the wooden, where the wooden boards have been.
Yeah, it does look like steps.
Yeah.
Just caved in.
Proper waterfall and stuff there. Wow. The size and the scale of a place like that blows my mind. And it's the same with this arch here folks, let's take a look under it. The water's dripping through. All this sediment here underfoot will have been dropped off by the river, probably in crazy storms. See, when they built this, it must have been incredible, kind of the way they've poured the cement against the wood, and then it's like they've built the road sections into it at a separate time later on in the construction. And then I can see there's like there's like square holes up there, but that must have been in the wood rather than the bridge. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, rebar. Thick rebar through the middle of it. And another crazy thing, like you can see how it's stepped out and then a little bit further, and I'm not sure how they judged like how far can it step out for the width. Wow. Try this out. It's like with this towering above me, this is so cool. This is a proper like coastal, not a coastal defence, but a defence for the water to stop it eroding the bridge. Look at this, folks, I'm going to have a proper look around the corner here. No way, look how much pigeon doo-doos is there. See, you would get round, but there's not really any point, because it doesn't go right out. Wow. It's quite a weird feeling with the river just like running down there when you're standing here. Oh aye. Volcanic seam in the rocks. Everything here has just been built onto it. Onto the bedrock. Bits like that has just been stopping it from eroding the shoreline. And because this is exposed to all the weather, you can't really see the grain of the wood in it too well. But you can certainly see where the boards have been. And there's been strange bits like that. I don't know if they drill in to test it sometimes or what the story is, but it is cool. It'll be crazy like in years to come. Just imagine there was no humans and there was just a few people like that landed on Earth from somewhere else, and they would be like, wow, like what have these people been doing to get around? Just to get our cars around on the planet's surface, folks, we build magnificent structures like this, which you don't even see when you're driving about. It's not until you come underneath them that you get like awestruck by the magnitude of them, the craftsmanship, and the skill. Because it actually turns round the corner as well. That's not just because it's a super wide lens, folks. Like literally this is a curved structure right here. The main road is a sharp corner basically. Oi! Oh aye. Maybe they blocked that up because it was haunted. The ghost of the old prisoners, folks. You looking out the window. It almost looks like the stones are in poor shape here at this side. Kind of the shape of it. But see, I don't know if they are maintaining it with that sticker that was on the door. I don't know if that was people who are actually maintaining it, or it could just literally be falling to the wayside and then one day it'll just have to be brought down. Like a lot of these magnificent bridges and viaducts we visit, if they're not maintained, they'll come down and history will just be lost forever. And it's such a shame. Cool Land Rover there, folks. Land Rover Defender. Look at that, you'd be able to have a proper look at the bridge up there, folks. Look at this, you could go up the coast a lot quicker with a little boat. Oh, there's been something there built at one time. Yeah, there's been a wee shed or something from a time gone by. There's been other little sheds here too. The size of that bridge still looming over in the distance is just mind-blowing, folks. It's a mind-blowing construction. And like the bedrock's like right around the side of here. Now folks, we're about to go and continue our walk back up the coast. And we'll see if we see any other interesting things that we missed on the way. We could take the different route where we follow the old railway line, which is pretty cool. Because it looked like there wasn't much other stuff like constructed on the railway line when we saw it. So this has been another epic adventure, folks. All the way from just about getting washed into a flooded cave to all the World War II history. And then these massive viaducts, it's so cool. Yeah. All these have been planted, I think, to strengthen the riverbank here, to stop it eroding when the river rises. Look at this view around here, folks. Once again, we're going to be walking until the sun sets, and it's crazy. People fishing here too. Shout out if you're fishing here and you've seen yourself on the video, folks. The waves here are just mind-blowing, like the way they crash into the pebbles. It's so cool. And the way the sun's starting to make the sky orange too. Incredible scenes. Look at this, folks. We're going to try and walk a different route to what we came on this adventure, and this must be a little track. Which it won't. Oh, I'm recording the wrong way. DJ slipped there, folks, and we missed it on the video. But this must have been a little track so people could access where the railway station was, which I believe would have been over there. Some sort of little railway station. And then this must have been some little access down to the beach area. Look at this, folks. This must be an old gate here, which at one time came from where the station is, and then must have been accessed in maybe when they had more fishing and stuff. Maybe they loaded fish onto the train there and then off to wherever it needed to go. Yeah, it's totally been eroded away every year, more and more, until now it's just a footpath. Look at this, folks. There's that eerie abandoned house at the edge of what's this, Gourdon that we're in now? We're back in the village of Gourdon, folks. Taking it all in. Coastal walk. Look at this, folks. This house is for sale. If anybody's interested in the house in these little beautiful Scottish villages, that are available. Wow. It's got so much character. This is some old yard, maybe a train yard. And then those flats there, the front windows look out right into the sea. It's a crazy, crazy spot for a house. Look at this, folks. This is literally like what these houses look out. This is like the living room window view. There's the house right there, and like there's the sea. And just imagine, like, when the seas are high, potentially pebbles and stuff will be flying through this person's front window. Crazy, folks. It's just incredible, the view with the sunset though. I would love a view out my window over the sea like that, but it would be scary in a storm. You'd be better with the house up the stair, I would say, in a storm, like. Look at this, folks. This house over here is for sale too. There's a lot of properties for sale in this village, and the landscape in the village is crazy. The way the houses are further up the hill, they must all get such a good view of the sea. And some of the sunsets is just magical in this neck of the woods this time of year. There's that abandoned boat that we saw earlier in the video. Now we're back to the ancient fishing harbour of Gourdon. When you come to some of these little harbour towns and villages, it's almost like stepping back in time. You can just imagine how it must have been when the fishing was at so much more of like a busier time. Fishing was so much more popular at the smaller harbours like this, whereas now it's mostly controlled from big harbours like Peterhead and stuff like that, further up the coast. Just check the amount of creel nets here. And there's a strange light at this time of night with the sunset and the orange sky. Just look at the scenery here over the water. I was just getting a couple of good photos there, folks. You can really smell the coastal air here, the sea air. I see there's a boy in there fixing his creel nets as well. Must be one of the local fishermen here. Maybe that's what this place is. Maybe they fix and maintain them. Look at this here, folks, this is cool. The tide has now come in. When we first walked down here, these boats were sitting up on the dry land. Now look at it, the sea's right to the edge of this. Wow, I just showed you in a couple of hours how much it changes. And now we're back as far as this harbour bar, painting on the wall. A mural, beautiful mural of Gourdon, folks. Crazy. The wind howling through this little close here is incredible, folks. Wow. Look at the character of this little street here, folks, on the edge of Gourdon. They've got this cool boat here as well. Wild Rose it's called. And it's quite a nice area, this. This is the street here which has got this abandoned house at the end of it with the Harris fencing. But we've come around this way so we can have a closer look at it. The character of the land is just incredible. With this house in the middle of it, look at it. It's probably been a little fishery house or something at one time. There's a crack leading right down there. I would think like a few years ago you would have probably gotten into this place. Nah, you would hate to breach the fence, which we're not really gonna. We don't really hate to do that. That's not what we're about here, folks, on this channel, breaching fences. Yeah. Look at the character of that, folks, for an abandoned scene. It's got this strange cement like trough thing at the corner. Maybe at one time it was a house with like a little field or something with some livestock even, but then saying that, this is the railway coming along here, eh? Yeah. So this was maybe some sort of water tank for something else. Unknown history, folks. Yeah. The clouds are getting more red now as the sun sets further. Look at this, folks, look at the way the ivy or whatever this is, I think it's ivy, it's just clinging onto the top of these posts. That is crazy. It almost looks like it's not like wooden posts. Anyway, folks, we'll have to move off the tracks. Here comes a motor vehicle. The sun's starting to set further and further now, folks, and we're just making our way along the old rail line, which is actually right there. Is that not the old rail line there? Yeah. So I just thought I would update you, folks. Maybe on the footage you can see that the sun's set further, whereas when you're out on the adventure it's just a gradual change in the light. Look at this, folks, we're walking in the dark now, and look, there's a proper burn here. We're going to have to go across there to cross over. This is insane, folks. We were just following the old railway and it looks like at one time there's been a bridge or something there. So there is stones. But yeah, folks, the adventure is real on this channel. I've got the torch out now so we can see a bit on the video. And shout out, there's a couple of fishermen out here still fishing into the evening here. Into the darkness. The land is just crazy and the sun's fully down below the horizon now. And we're making our way back to Johnshaven where the car's parked. So yeah, it's been a cool adventure today with the amount of stuff we've seen. I've said it already in the video, but it just blows my mind often, the amount of nuggets of history just hidden all over. And often a coastal walk's the best because you can travel so far. I can see the lighthouse flashing away down the coast at Montrose at the Scurdiness lighthouse. It looks pretty deep. I think that's too deep though to walk across. Here, imagine that came off. Real adventures on this channel, folks. Is it safe? We're going for it, folks, because this is what we're all about on the channel. Here we are, live on the video, we're crossing these gates. This is crazy, folks. Like the water's down there. Insane adventures. They're nice and sturdy, or we wouldn't bother in case we damaged them, but crazy, folks. We're in the middle of this field. You can kind of see a bit with the torchlight there, the grassy field, and we're just heading into the sunset here, folks. There's so many crows here swirling about, fleeing about. It's eerie. Look at this, folks. On this path we're out of that kind of horse looking field or whatever it is, and look, we're back on the old rail line, which is what we've been trying to do, that come right down the coast here on the rail line. So it is interesting. I'm still just using the torchlight here to record, but pretty soon we'll be back into the harbour town of Johnshaven, which is picturesque, and I'm sure they'll have street lights by that time. Look at this, folks. We're finally coming in to the edge of Johnshaven village here, and it's a thankful sight because we've walked probably like what, 5 to 10 miles today, somewhere in that range. Probably 10 miles, folks. 5 mile up and 5 mile back down roughly. And then look at this. This is the edge of Scotland right here with the wild North Sea. I thought I would start recording further down here because there's street lights and stuff now. I've still got my torch on the go, but like the way the sun's set now in the sky, it's just a different environment. The roar from the sea is just constant with the waves. The tide's so much further in, because I remember when we first got here, the sea was miles out. Now it's right in next to the shore. Look at this, folks. We're back along as far as the Johnshaven harbour, and that's been a crazy adventure today. This is an amazing environment out here with the sun setting, and the way that now the sun is set, and these little coastal buildings have got so much character. That's where we first walked down when we got here. And now look at it, it's a different scene altogether now. The waves are rolling in up here, and that's why it's so eroded at that height. We've got the moon up in the sky here, folks. That is the crescent of the moon up there. The sun floating about over there. What a crazy place. There's nothing better than an evening walk around the harbour, folks. With the sun setting. Look at that, it just drops off there into the sea. There's a few different places up there on the sign as well, which we can't see because it's pitch dark. But look at that, folks, that's the character of a little Scottish town in the dark. Because we've made it all the way in this adventure to the dark, which is something that's happened a few times recently. I can hardly see where I'm walking. Yeah, there's a few fishing boats and stuff over there. We never actually looked at this harbour. We'll have to come back one day in the future, folks. Adventures are always out there. But we've made it back to the car. I'm going to end this video here, folks, in this beautiful little fishing town of Johnshaven. Can it be a cool place to stay? But I'll end it here. Goodbye for me. Goodbye for the channel DJ. And we'll catch you very soon in the next adventure.